What is up, guys? Fado82 coming at you with a weekly Rust update video. An atmospheric ceiling light has been added into Rust. It's going to cost you 200 metal fragments. It's going to be a non-default blueprint. For each lamp that you put up, it will require 20 low-grade fuel to operate it. Electricity has not been added into the game, so don't get excited. And the lamps are very atmospheric with a really cool swing animation. The biggest game changers this go around in this version of Rust are an overhaul to the armor system. So the armor 2.0 has been rolled out in terms of conditions to armor, and also the melee system has received an overhaul. If you're wondering what the red exclamation points are next to pieces of armor, that indicates that armor has no more condition value associated with it and that it needs to be repaired. In terms of the melee system, it now has improved hit detection. Specifically, they have a new system that analyzes the body parts in your line of sight, and it deals damage to the most significant one rather than checking for the first interpretation and defaulting to that. So it feels more natural, more intuitive. It's hard to really describe, as was stated in the dev blog. You have to go ahead and experience it. And in the footage, you can kind of see it has a different flow to it, and we did definitely notice that it felt different. I didn't test it out extensively, but it did initially feel better. Regarding the armor has changed, and you're going to notice some changes with things like roadside armor, wood armor. Helmets are now more effective against melee damage, but they're easier to break. The helmets, when they break, will fall off the body, as will other parts of armor as well. So that's something that you guys want to keep in mind. When you use armor that has been broken, it will give you 1/4 of the overall protection that armor would have given you otherwise. So it'll be reduced to 1/4 until it's repaired. And in terms of the armor, it now will absorb 100% of the protection until it's broken. At that point, it will go ahead and change. For each hit that your armor takes, whether it's melee or bullet damage, it will reduce the condition of that armor. So that's something that is an overhaul and that you guys definitely want to keep in mind. Syringes have received an overhaul as well. They now will deal 5 initial damage and 30 health over time. And the wounding state now doesn't have a long period of immortality, so you have to pick your buddies up quicker. The thing I was most excited about in the dev blog was seeing the next iteration of the arrowheads or arrow tips that are added into the game. You can go ahead and rotate them if you go ahead and take a look at the dev blog and see the detail that's being put into these. The ones that are integrated with cloth would be fire arrows. They have some concepts for some piercing arrows and some bleeding arrows and potentially some poison ones in the future. So that is really cool. Another big game changer this version of Rust is that the weak side to buildings has received a massive change in that it now has better detection when you're trying to manipulate those areas. So it's going to be offer better protection to bases and be less open to exploitation. We saw some different variations of racial tones with the female character model, so that's something that's coming down the line very soon. And we saw some more fleshed out concepts for the Rad Town areas or the dungeons in the game, with the train yard receiving some love. The next version of the procedurally generated terrain will likely hit next week, so we won't see this till next week, but we did see some smaller power lines which have been added back into the game. They were able to sneak them in without needing to fully overhaul the landscape. So the rivers will soon look better as well, and the trees have improved this patch, so you'll notice trees have less of a billboard shading effect to it and it'll look more natural. As always, really hope you guys enjoyed this week's Rust update video. As always, I have a lot of fun making it. Fado82, peace.